Hey guys, the Duda 2, and coming to you with another Go video. Um, in the next maybe 2 videos or more, I want to talk about some basic life and death. Um, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I took a break from playing and I'm focusing entirely on life and death. I feel like I'm getting a little stronger. Part of the reason for this is I feel most of my matches I'm losing are because of something to do with eyes, or the inability to make an eye, or I think I have an eye and I don't. So it's all life and death stuff. And unfortunately, it is very, very difficult to figure out, um, uh, I guess, proper life and death tactics, and even the basic life and death books with problems don't explain it in a way that makes it easy for me, right? There's some very difficult concepts. You hear terminology thrown around like alive shapes and dead shapes, and even though I know in theory what that means, I have no clue how to apply it, etc. I don't know if you guys have had similar difficulties. Maybe it's just me, but this is a part of the game that I'm struggling with a lot. So what I did was I bought this book here. I showed it in a review. It's from Booktopia, Essential Life and Death. I got volume 1 and 2, and I've been working through it, and there are some basic concepts that once I figured out, it helped my life and death study along a lot, and I wanted to share those with you guys. I think this will be a real helpful video for a lot of people. I really wish I saw a video like this myself. This would have saved me a lot of time. So this is another example of the reason for my channel, is that I'll go through it the hard way and kind of figure it out, and then try to explain it in an easier way for you guys. I think this is gonna make me a lot stronger. So it'll probably make you guys a lot stronger too. So I hope you like it. So in the next video or two, I'm going to talk about life and death. And I'm going to make it as simple and basic as possible. And I'm going to explain it in a way that it was not explained to me. So bear with me. But these are shapes I want you guys to memorize. These are shapes that I've memorized. You're going to only memorize them in the context of life and death, not anything else. And the black shapes are what's called living shapes in life and death, and the white shapes are the dead shapes. So let's zoom in a little and let's see what we got. This is called a bent 4, this is called a twisted 4, and this is a straight 4. Okay, it kind of makes sense. I've heard it called an L, a J. We're just gonna it's 4 stones, so we remember the number 4. This is a straight 4, a bent 4, and a twisted 4. These are living shapes, and I'll explain that in a second. For these white shapes, there's really no good name for them, but they all take their basic starting point from this empty triangle here. The empty triangle, we all know, is usually a pretty bad shape, except in life and death situations. But in the instance I'm talking about, this is going to be a dead shape, so you can call this maybe a dead 3, maybe a dead 4, a dead square 4, and a dead 5. I don't know, something like that, some way to help you easily remember them. But as you can see, that this empty triangle is simply, if you just add another stone to it, it's still dead because of the shape. We can even leave that here. And if you add another stone to this, you kind of see that this seems to be a theme for the dead shapes, right? They seem to go just like this. And then if you want 2 empty triangles, you just take away a stone. So as you're adding, right, you can go from this to this to this, right? You kind of see that the stones share a similar, let's see this to here. The stones share similar properties, which put them in a type of shape that would be considered dead. So I'm going to show you why they're considered dead shapes and why these are considered live shapes, coming up in a second. And then we'll move on from there. But again, you can name these whatever you want. The dead 3, and then either here or here being a dead 4, and then this being a dead 5, and they're all based off of this empty triangle, this ugly clump of stones, and then a bent 4, a twisted 4, and a straight 4. These are the terminology I'm using. Feel free to use your own, but hopefully calling them names that kind of fit what they are will make a little more sense than some of these other things. Like they'll say J. Well, a J could be, this is still a J. This is still a J, right? Or if you call something an I, this could be an I. That it's a little confusing. So, but if it's four stones twisted, see how that kind of twists, or bent, we know that it's bent one way, or straight, we know that it's straight. So this is the reason I like this terminology. So I'll come back in just a second here. Okay, I'm back. So let's talk about the 3 living shapes: the straight 4, the bent 4, and the twisted 4. That shape that I showed, the straight 4, is actually going to be the shape that you want, the empty spaces that you want to leave in your shape. If you could pull that off, then your shape will be alive, which is why it's called a living. For instance, see these 4 stones? If you were to put them, well, let's think of it in an easier way. That means, see, it's so complicated to even explain. Let's take a look at this problem right here. Let's bring this down with my fancy camera work here. Okay, here we have 1, 2, 3 spaces. Black wants 4 spaces, right? Because this is the straight 4 shape. So it's black's turn to move. So if black plays here, black now has what's the straight 4, right? You could fit them 4 black stones right in here. This means that black is alive because this is a living shape. It's unconditionally alive. Which means that if white wants to try to play in here, no matter where white plays, black can make 2 eyes, right? If white plays here, black can play here, 2 eyes. If white plays here, black plays here, 2 eyes. If white plays here, black plays here, 2 eyes. And this is because of the straight 4 shape. So the shape itself, the straight 4 has nothing to do with the outside, it has to do with all the inside, okay? So this is your living shape, the straight 4. And same with white. If it's white's turn, white wants to stop you from making that straight 4. So white would play here. Now black can no longer make this straight 4, right? If black plays here, white will take. So black has to play here, and then white will play here and fill in. And now black no longer has straight 4, he has a 2, right? Which is no good. So black wants to play in such a way as to make a living shape, straight 4. So whenever you can make this straight 4, your shape is good and alive, okay? It only applies to shapes that there are exactly nothing but the straight 4 on the side like this, and you're okay. Let's take a look at this other shape over here. Let's give you a zoom in. Hopefully this, let's see. Tricky. Okay. Let's take a look at this shape over here. We talked about a bent 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See the bent 4 shape here? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you look at what we talked about, here's the geez, where's my camera at? Wow, sorry guys, we're doing a twisted 4 here. So see the twisted 4 shape? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember that's a live shape. So black plays here, makes this twisted 4, and it is now unconditionally alive. No matter where white plays, right? Black will take here and capture. If white plays here, black will take here and get its 2 eyes. White plays here, black will play here. And if white plays here, black will play here, capture, and get its 2 eyes. So this is an example of the twisted 4. Right? Again, here's the shape for the twisted 4. And there's the shape that we got right here. Okay, and then for our last shape, which is this one, which I thought I was zoomed in on, I apologize for that. Last living shape is the bent 4, and we remember that the bent 4 is this shape here. So if you could find that shape in this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's the bent 4. See it? So black's next move is going to be here. This creates the bent 4, which is a living shape. No matter where white plays, right? If white plays there, black plays here, 2 eyes. If white plays here, black plays here, 2 eyes. If white plays here, black plays here, 2 eyes. If white plays here, black plays here, 2 eyes. So no matter what, that's what I mean by calling them living shapes. They're alive because if you make that shape inside of your life and death shape, you can't be killed. You're guaranteed 2 eyes. So that's it for the life shape, the living shapes. Let's take a look at an example of each of the 4 dead shapes that I showed you. Okay guys, I figured since there's a lot to cover, we'll just focus on living shapes for this video. So what I did was I threw down another example of the 4 living shapes, straight 4, bent 4, twisted 4, and I'll show you how to get the shape one more time through a little more complicated example, and then I'll show you how to use that shape to kill as well as to save. So let's start with the straight 4 example right here. Here you see we got black in a bit of trouble, right? So we know that the living shape is a straight 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we know that to save black, all we need to do is play here, and you know, black now has 1, 2, 3. Sorry, all we need to do is play here, and then we know that black has a straight 4 shape right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a living shape. Black is unconditionally alive. So, well, let's just assume it's white's turn, right? If white plays here, does black any longer have the straight 4 shape? Well, remember, black has to play. So the best black can do is play here. And that is just a straight 3 shape, right? Because it's white's turn. And so all white has to do is play in here, and that kills black shape. For some of you, you would think, okay, well black can take right here, right? Right, but that's a false eye, right? Black takes here, and then white plays here. So now, white could take this at any time he wants, right? So say black seals it up, black still has the same problem. He can't make 2 eyes because he did not have a straight 4. So if you look at that again, how does black live? Black lives by making the straight 4, which is a living shape. How does black die? Or white kill black? White kills black by preventing him from making that straight 4. Pretty simple example, but it's a good example with the straight 4. So now I'll give you another example. Let's just take this off the board when we're done. We'll finish with these examples here. I got a centerboard example you guys might like. Mix it up a little bit from the... So here we have black in the center. And what is black's living shapes? Straight 4, bent 4, twisted 4. Here we have potential to make a twisted 4. Right? So black plays here. He now has this twisted 4 shape, which means it's alive, right? No matter where white plays, black could play in a place and give himself 2 eyes, which is pretty awesome. So what we want to do to live is make this straight 4 shape. You're guaranteed to live. That's pretty simple. But if we remove this, and it's white's turn, and you want to see how do you kill it? Well, an easy way to kill would be for white to play here, because now black will play here, and guess what? No twisted 4 shape. As a matter of fact, this is one of the dead shapes that we talked about. 3 dead. It's just an empty triangle. So now that it's white's turn, white will play in here and kill black, because now black can't make 2 eyes. If white ignores and black plays here, he could still make 2 eyes, right? So it's not, I guess you could say unconditionally dead, but white's probably going to play there, right? White's turn's next. So I guess moral of the story: if you can make this, bent 4 shape, you live. If you can't make this bent 4 shape, you die. And we'll go on to, we did a straight 4 and a bent 4. So let's do a twisted 4. I'm sorry. So let's try a bent 4 example, and then I'll wrap it up here with a conclusion. So here we have an instance where white already has a stone in here. So you know, what does black do? Well, the nice thing about this is black already has the bent 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So black has the bent 4. So we just assume that white just played in there. Well, we already know that the bent 4 is a living shape, right? No matter, unconditionally. So white plays in, no matter where he plays, black can make life. So that's awesome, right? Black's unconditionally alive with the bent 4. But let's assume it's white's turn. Okay, all white has to do is stop black from making this bent 4, right? So it's white's turn. So what white wants to do is play another move. White plays here, and now black doesn't have the bent 4. He doesn't have the ability to make 2 eyes, right? Like this. So what you're doing is you're playing in the vital spot, and you know, now black's dead. So it's a matter of who plays first. So hopefully through studying these shapes, the more life and death problems you do and see through your games, the stronger your games will be, and the more consistent you'll be able to save your groups, you know, during certain shapes. You'll be able to look at a shape and say, okay, well, no matter where he plays, I can make a bent 4, or a straight 4, or a twisted 4, and my group is going to be alive no matter what. So then you know you can play elsewhere and let him waste stones trying to kill your group, and when it gets right to the point where he's going to kill your group, go bam, twisted 4, I'm alive. Bam, straight 4, I'm alive. Bam, bent 4, I'm alive. And when you do that, your games are going to get a lot stronger, because you'll be able to look at your group, see that it's safe, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. And let's face it, when you're playing this game and you got a lot of groups you're worrying about, knowing that a group is alive and actually knowing that in your head really makes all the difference. So if you got 5 groups on the board and you know that every one of them is alive, you could focus on attacking. Vice versa, if you have 5 groups on the board and you know that one of them is about to die, you know that you need to focus on saving that group. And as soon as you save it, then you can focus on killing his group. And the same thing applies. If you have one of his group and you know that he can't make one of those shapes at least, then you could say, okay, well, at any time I could play one move in there and kill his twisted 4 or his bent 4 or straight 4, and he can't live. Again, these are very basic shapes, and the more complicated patterns base off of them and others. But for those of you looking for basic life and death, and even a little more advanced, if you're looking for some fundamentals that you probably didn't learn because they don't seem to be taught in any book, I really had to figure a lot of this stuff out on my own. You know, it's a good fundamental. You know, maybe it'll help you guys with the more advanced problems who are a little stronger. But that'll be it. Next, I guess next session, I'll talk about the dead shapes. I'll give examples of, instead of making a living shape, you force your opponent to make a dying shape inside. And then, you know, you'll know that they'll be dead in the same way that you know that these are unconditionally alive. So that's about it. I'm hoping this will be a popular video, because this is something I think a lot of people need. I know I wish I had this. So give me your comments, suggestions. If I screwed something up, let me know. hopefully I didn't. I actually put a little bit of thought into this episode as opposed to the other ones where I just kind of wing it. So hopefully it pays off. And I look forward to your comments, and I'll see you next session. Thank you very much, and keep up the good work. Thank you.